and welcome to FinextraTV. I'm Hannah Wallace, and we're here in London for Sibos 2019. Kindly joining me now in the studio is Patrik Havander from Nordea, Head of Strategy and Commercial Excellence. Hello Patrik, thank you very much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you.
Hi Anna, it's nice to be here.
Now, the first thing I want to talk to you about is the changing transaction banking landscape. This is a really big topic at Sibos. Can you tell me, how is Nordea placed in this area?
Well, I would like to start off by saying that we are in a fortunate position in being part of the Nordics. Talking to a lot of the international banks, they see with envy on the development in the Nordics with the instant payments, with the bank ID, especially that we also have. And this is something that, of course, is a cross-banking initiative, but it's also something that is favoring Nordea's development a lot. Apart from that, I would say something that is widely discussed here is the extension now of open banking. And as you know, Nordea was one of the first banks out with the open banking, and where we have done a great deal with inviting a lot of developers in our sandbox and so on, and creating APIs, because APIs, that is the future. Everyone is talking about how to develop the APIs and the different business cases for the API development.
Well, on the topic of development, there's also been a lot of talk about return on investment. So can you tell me how Nordea is doing in this space?
Yes. Banks have now for a number of years invested in new technologies. And now it's time to really find a good value for the clients and get some decent returns on these investments. And this is, of course, also in Nordea a big focus area. Also coming back to the open banking, there we are releasing new products to the market that is gaining a lot of interest. We are also in the PSP space with our Nordea Connect solution. That is really a big conversation topic here that we are now launching to the market, first to our merchants, but the big shift that we see in the Nordics, but also in the other part of the world, is that the corporates are now stepping on to more digital business models, and there they need an e-com solution to capture that new type of business. So we are very well positioned for that, and that is something that we will have a great commercial upside on going forward. Connected to that, we are also investigating on how to commercialize data. And also if there are loyalty apps and things like that we can bundle in that e-com solution. So I would say that is a very interesting area, and as we have talked about before, it's the blockchain initiative with WeTrade that we are pushing out now in the Nordics as well. So I would say all in all, we are doing well. There are a lot more to do, but the focus on this Sibos is very much on the commercialization, on the investments, and it's really interesting to hear also what the other banks are doing here.
Sounds like you're doing some really positive work in Nordea then.
Indeed.
And following on from that quite nicely then, and the crystal ball question as it were, what opportunities do you think you're going to be seeing, and other banks, in the next 10 years or so?
Yes. This is maybe then a wild idea, but me working with the strategy, I'm very much involved in the zero marginal cost effects of the banks. How can the bank utilize the current assets? If we put in new raw material, what other type of outputs can we get? And here we have the whole notion of data, where we are also connected with the GDPR, the personal data. Can I store my data, personal data in a bank? Can I control my data in a different way, in a kind of deposit? can I also, can data be viewed as an asset class? Because if it can, then banks know how to deal with different asset classes. These are very interesting conversational topics here where I think banks have a future role to play. But what that role is, it remains to be seen. But again, it's something that is 10 years down the line, but nevertheless, it's an interesting topic.
So watch this space, I think it's safe to say.
Yes, indeed.
Patrik, as always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you very much for having me.